So, I'm going to go over 3 strategies that you can use to get your first few therapy clients without investing money into your practice. But before we get into it, in order for these strategies to work, you really do need to niche down. And by that, I mean that you need to be very specific about one client that you help solve one specific problem. Right. So I know as therapists, we work with all kinds of people, and people are complicated, messy humans who have a lot of stuff going on. So, for instance, I really specialize in working with anxious millennial women. Those millennial women have work stress, they have relationship stress. Maybe they had parents who weren't very affirming of all of their feelings as a kid. Maybe they had a lot of pressure to perform, to do more, to be better. Maybe they have body image issues. Maybe they're getting married for the first time. Maybe they had some childhood trauma, right? There's a lot of different things that these people can experience. But my job as a marketer is to speak to one specific person versus all of the different specific life circumstances that my clients might have as individual human beings who show up to session. So, getting clear on one client who you help does not mean that every single client is going to be a clone of each other. You will 100% have diversity in your caseload, but you do need to pick one specific problem that you are helping people to solve, right? Don't overthink it. You can 100% change your mind later. I have changed my own niche plenty of times, from people pleasing to boundaries to perfectionism to anxiety and overachieving to body image, back to anxiety and overachieving. So you have permission to change your mind, but start off by picking something and seeing how it goes. Because if you do not pick a niche, if you do not get really specific with your language, none of these strategies, free or paid, will work in order to really fill your caseload with private pay clients. So, the first strategy we're going to talk about is Psychology Today. I'm sure most of you have heard of this, but this is the most popular therapist directory out there. It's basically like the phone book for therapists online. So, this is not sponsored by Psychology Today, but you can get 6 months free from Psychology Today when you are referred by another therapist. If you have a colleague who you want to ask for a referral, that's amazing. I think that they give you 1 month free in return. If you don't have anybody to ask for a referral, send me an email at support@sitwithkelly.com, and I will happily give you a referral for your first 6 months free. I would start by setting up a Psychology Today profile and using that as your website. If you are brand new, don't even make a website yet. Just start with a 6 month free Psychology Today profile and put yourself out there, because a lot of people go to Psych Today to try and find a therapist. It is where clients are actively seeking out a therapist. It's people who are serious about starting therapy and are really perusing their options. Now, with that Psych Today profile, you do have to be very specific, right? So when I scroll Psychology Today, I see so much flowery BS, just like therapy speak, that does not resonate. And it makes a lot of sense to me, because I hear a lot of therapists complain that they don't get any clients from Psychology Today. So do not scroll other people's profiles looking for inspiration, because they may not have the practice that you want to have, right? They may not be getting a lot of private pay clients from Psychology Today. You need to be very, very niche specific. You need to speak to that one specific person in your profile. You need to be very clear about the feelings that they're currently experiencing and how they want to feel differently as a result. And if you can do that, if you can be very clear in your language, you will get clients from Psychology Today, a free directory for at least your first 6 months, which is enough to get you started with no problem, right? I have a whole module on Psych Today inside of the Private Practice Academy bundle, and it's a newer lesson. I released it maybe like 6 months ago. And I get messages from therapists like every single week being like, oh my gosh, I just watched the Psych Today module. I updated my listing, and instantly I got 4 new clients inquiries from Psychology Today. So I promise this works. Obviously, I go into it in like way more detail inside of Private Practice Academy. But in short, what you really need to do is niche down and get very, very specific in your listing. If you can do that, you will get clients from Psychology Today totally free, which is a beautiful thing. Now, the second strategy I would do if I was trying to fill my caseload without spending any money on marketing is make an Instagram page. And I know that's probably kind of obvious coming from me, but I absolutely love Instagram and think that it is the best tool out there to help you fill your caseload. Now, if you are brand new to Instagram, you probably will not get clients right away. Like your first week or two might take a month or two, or maybe 3 or 4 months. And that's okay, right? But in time, you will get clients from Instagram directly. Like people will see your reels. They will say, oh my gosh, that is so me. I need to work with her. And they will reach out and they'll ask you to be their therapist. But even before that happens, you can still get clients from Instagram by using it as a networking tool, right? I'm going to repeat that again. I want you to think of Instagram as a networking tool. Post at least 4 times a week to your therapy Instagram page and use it to network with other therapists. I'm sure that you've seen this if you're already on Instagram. There are tons of therapists on Instagram these days, right? Almost every therapist has an Instagram page because it's 2024. What business owner doesn't have an Instagram page, right? And so there's so many therapists that you can meet that are getting clients, that partners, like their clients' partners want a therapist. Their clients need a couples therapist, they're a couples therapist, and the two people in the couple need an individual therapist. Their client's kid needs a therapist. You name it. Lots of therapists are connected to other people who need therapists. Even if they're not full, right? They're still connected to people who need therapists. And so using it as a networking tool is amazing. So, what I really want you to do is commit to posting on Instagram at least 4 times a week. Put yourself out there and make Instagram social, right? Like follow other therapists, reply to their stories, comment on their stuff, get to know other people. These people should be local to you, ideally, right? In the same state, because that's likely who they're going to be referring your way. But ask some of them to get like a virtual coffee, right? Or meet up with them in person if they're like actually in the same city as you, and get to know them, because it is so effective to be able to network on Instagram where you're not just like a stranger popping into an office and giving them a brochure about your therapy practice. That is going to instantly go in the trash can the second that you leave. Instead, you're a real human being who they get to know on this app. They get to see you do kind of mundane parts of your life, like, sharing your coffee or sharing your to-do list or what book you're reading, and they start to feel more connected to you. They see you posting content about a specific niche and they start to view you as an expert in that area. And so when they need to make a recommendation for a therapist who wants to work with anxiety or with trauma or with couples or with ADHD, they're going to think of you because you are going to have niche down, you're going to have been clear on your content, and you are going to be consistent with showing up. And so they're going to be consistently reminded of you long after this, initial coffee date or whatever that people typically do when they're networking. And you have your Psychology Today page loaded up already, right? So after you kind of make your Instagram page, you start networking with people, maybe you get a virtual coffee with them. I would totally follow up by email and say like, hey, thank you so much. I really enjoyed meeting you. I wanted to follow up and send you a link to my Psych Today profile. If you ever have, clients or colleagues who are looking for a referral with X, Y, and Z, please feel free to send them my way. I'm going to, use you as a referral source as well. I really enjoyed learning about how you work with X, Y, and Z niche that they said. Best of luck. Talk to you soon, right? That is so helpful because now we have a Psych Today listing that demonstrates that you are a professional niche down expert therapist in one area. We have Instagram content that demonstrates that you are a professional expert therapist in one area. And we have other professional expert therapists who are viewing you in this way, who are trusting you, and who are willing to send you clients. It really does not need to be complicated. This stuff is super simple and can absolutely fill your caseload and get you your first few clients. Now, the third strategy that I have does cost $125 a month, so it's not totally free, but I think that this is still a really good one and will easily pay for itself after just one session. I am the queen of telling therapists that they need to get paid, $150, $200, $250 per session. But sometimes I recognize that that may not be possible for you to do instantly, right? If you have never marketed yourself before, if you have no network, if you are brand new, if you are working a full-time job and you don't have, several hours a week to pour into Instagram, and networking, you might need to take a few clients first, get a little bit of income, and then be able to, maybe quit your job or reduce your hours or hire a virtual assistant or something so that you can go more all in on your private practice. If you are somebody who needs to make income quickly or wants to start seeing results, or even if you're somebody who has never really worked with like private clients before, I think that accepting insurance can be a great option. So I'll actually speak for myself. This was huge for me because in my professional career after I finished graduate school, I only worked in homeless services. So every single client that I worked with was experiencing homelessness. I worked with veterans. I worked with, 18 to 24-year-olds. I worked with LGBTQ people, but every single one was experiencing homelessness. And so I would have never, ever had the confidence to go from that to seeing people privately for $250 per session. I just felt like I had no idea how to even work with people that were not deep in crisis. Of course, once I actually did it, I was like, oh, this is so much easier than working with people who are deep in crisis. I could do this all day, every day, no problem. But I didn't have the confidence to be able to do that. And so when I first started, I was seeing clients through insurance. And it was amazing, right? I instantly felt like so much more connected to my clients. I started working with teachers. I worked with a lot of nurses, um, you know, like people who just had regular jobs. I worked with an opera singer. I worked with all kinds of people, but they paid me through insurance, and it really gave me confidence in my skills as a therapist. It gave me enough revenue to be able to start to think about quitting my job and eventually quit my job because I had this financial safety and security coming in. So if you are somebody who needs clients, either because you need income sooner than later or because you just need confidence that like this is something you're going to enjoy and that you actually want to go all in on, go ahead and try accepting insurance through this company, Alma, is what I used. So they paid me $125 per session at the time. I think it varies based off your state and licensure. So definitely talk with them about, getting paneled and seeing what that looks like for you. But if you saw even 3 clients a week at $125 per session, that is $1,500 per month. And with insurance, you truly, truly, truly need barely any marketing. Like I know I said that Psychology Today could fill your caseload with private pay clients if you are niched down enough. That is true. I think you can even fill your caseload with Psychology Today with insurance without a niche because there is that much demand for therapists who actually accept insurance and network. There's just not a lot of people who do because the pay is not very good compared to what you can earn out of network. So 100%, if you are somebody who is dipping your toes in the water, if you don't have, money to invest into your business yet, I think that this can be a really great strategy. It gave me personally the financial stability to be able to quit my job. And it also gave me the patience to be able to take my time with getting private pay clients. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel pressured to like offer a sliding scale or take on clients who I felt like were really high risk or not a good fit just because they were willing to pay me my rate of $250 per session. I was able to say like, okay, I kind of have stability. I have enough baseline here. I feel good and I can take my time. I can do this Instagram thing right. I can build my practice long-term with private pay clients at the same time. So that was absolutely wonderful and a great, great strategy to consider. So these 3 things, Psychology Today, Instagram as a networking tool, and accepting insurance from Alma can 100% get you your first few clients. I want you to start doing these things now so that way you can start 2025 so strong. But once you go ahead and you get your first few clients, right, through these free or very low cost resources, I would really urge you to reinvest back into your business, right? You need to learn about marketing. I would get a business coach. I would ask other people for feedback. I would get support. I would test out some low cost Instagram ads, right? I teach you how to do that inside of the Private Practice Academy bundle. I would join other directories. I would invest in a legitimate website, right? Like all of these things are definitely things that you want to do down the road in order to have like a 6-figure practice that you can sustainably bring in clients on a repeat. But you don't need them in the beginning. You don't need them to get started. And the reason why I think it's so important to reinvest back into your business is because with everything, there is a trade off, right? So, what you save in money by only doing free marketing, it costs you in time. So, free marketing, right? You have less expenses for your business. You're able to keep more of your revenue, but the results are slower. They take a little bit more time. And that's okay, right? That's a trade off a lot of people make, myself included. I did the free 6 months of Psychology Today. I accepted insurance clients through Alma, but I did not spend money on ads. I DIY'd my own website. I did all of that. But I personally found it to be a really helpful bridge in the meantime to be able to get started, to be able to take a risk and jump in feet first to my own private practice. While that risk was purely like ego based, it was an investment in time, but I wasn't really risking my own dollars and my own money. And I think that just made it feel so much safer for me to experiment with seeing clients on my own, and even for me to eventually quit my full time job because I had that safety bridge, I had that net. So once you get your first few clients, though, things start to shift. And the question then becomes not for how little can I market myself? How little can I spend in order to make this business successful? Instead, I hope that your question starts to become how fast can I have this success, right? How good can I make my business feel? How easy can I make it feel to fill empty spots when they are on my caseload? And the question really becomes if you want to go faster, if you want to earn more, if you want to feel more fulfilled, if you want to feel more ease, then I really recommend getting support, right? Whether that is through courses, coaching, hiring, you name it. All right, this was a quick episode today. I'm wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I really hope that this gets you started on the right foot for 2025, that you can see that private practice is so within your reach. You can do very, very free, very low cost things and earn, $1,500, $2,400 a month seeing just 3 clients. Please let 2025 be the year that you try private practice, that you bet on yourself, because the only thing getting in your way is you. It is not finances. You do not need to save up a ton of money or have a perfect business plan or have everything in place in order to get your first few clients. You can do these things. You can pick a niche. You can set up a Psych Today profile. You can start making some Instagram content and getting to know other therapists in private practice. You can accept insurance panels if you'd like to, and really just start to test this out. I know this has been a dream for so long, and I would absolutely love to see you make it happen. Happy holidays and cheering you on always.